What's going on, y'all? This is episode 2 of Valiant Club. My name is Jay Crum.
Zach Watkins, aka I See Melody.
And man, we're excited to be here. We had a bit of a firestorm that came from our first episode.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't expect what happened to happen, but I'm kind of, I don't know, it's cool to go viral on the first episode. Feels good.
Hey, that I don't mind that at all happening, man. To be honest, with everything that's going on, especially with that specific topic, that's the way it's supposed to lead to me, you know?
Yeah. You know what I learned from the viral video? Women really like you, man.
Yeah. Oh, so you just learned that from viral video? So I thought I knew that from the beginning.
No, they like really like me.
I feel you on that. No, I feel you on that.
I was feeling myself. Yeah. I was like, wait, hold on a second.
That's what's up.
No, we definitely want to start this episode out first by saying all the vibes, all the positive wishes, all the prayers to the victims of the Colorado shooting. It's something that was disgusting, and as I look at that, right, and see the response to people that there's been, I'm like, it made me upset, because it felt like oftentimes whenever there's like oppressed groups where these things happen to, there's always like an asterisk to a person's condolences.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I came across, I was scrolling through Twitter. You know, I used to be in like Christian music, that type of stuff. So I got I have a lot of like Christians who I had followed at one time or whatever.
Yeah. Still in that circle, still in that.
Yeah, still seeing it. And just like people saying, yeah, that was wrong, but.
But.
You know, but. And feeling some reason why they feel like they have to say something about that lifestyle.
Yeah.
And
there should never be a but to any sort of.
Never be a but.
Never. I mean, there should never be a comma but to any type of situation of death of any kind of, you know.
Yeah.
And that's probably the biggest thing I've kind of noticed too. I mean, that's the saddest thing. I mean, I think even the reason it was being brought up is being so present that it was a club of such, you know, that kind of leaves the asterisk there in itself, you know, because really even that is that even necessary to bring up? Is that necessary to have as the you know, I guess on the side of just it being a tragedy. Yeah. Is that necessary to have as part of the headline?
I only feel like it's necessary because I think it's important to point out that this group is being targeted.
Yeah, of course. I feel that. Yes.
I think, and that's the only reason why.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
To show that this group is being targeted and show that people who feel like this group's not being targeted, you should know, motherfucker, this group is being targeted specifically, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's the only reason why I feel that way. But
of course,
I think what this is another example of like America being forced to look at itself, right, and see like how do we respond to things like this?
Yeah.
And you know, I find it breaks my heart, and I find it sickening.
So exactly how did this moment go down? How was he already in the building? Did he walk in shooting?
Yeah, it looks like I didn't want to watch the video, man.
Yeah, no, I still
because it's just.
That's funny you said that, because I literally man.
I didn't want to watch the video. I couldn't, so I'm not sure. They say that he had a lot of firepower. He had a lot of firepower.
So he was prepared.
He was prepared for this, and so I can't watch another video of people getting killed, bro. It's too much.
No.
But I just want to offer all of my condolences to the 5 people who have lost, to the families of the 5 people who have been lost, and to the 19 others who have been wounded. We hope for a speedy recovery,
of course,
quick recovery, healthy, being able to be back to your old strength and everything like that. So, all right. Yeah. I know it was a sad way to start the pod. But let's go to like a little more of a happy topic. All right, let's talk about the holidays. We got Thanksgiving coming. You celebrate Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I mean, from what the day is. From getting together with family and being together in the presence of family and enjoying each other's time. Yes,
absolutely. Yeah, I'm saying the same way.
Yeah.
Okay. What you probably have a very interesting Thanksgiving.
In what terms?
Because you have like different cultures coming together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Here's the thing though. To be honest, I've yet to celebrate this day with like my wife's side of any sort. So that I've yet to celebrate that day's distance. So far away from distance and everything. So we've yet to come together in that sense with these days. But regardless, yes, I will say they are very interesting still. Because when you said that, I was like, oh, what, really? He knows? Like,
well, tell me about it. So, what is...
oh, man, like I said, first and foremost, like, I've rebelled against the whole situation of Thanksgiving, the whole meaning of what Thanksgiving is to the American culture, and that's one of my strongest things. It's took me a while actually to consider this a holiday in a sense and to really accept it like that and to bring it up and to talk about it in those ways because honestly, man, like we don't have to go deep into it, but we know the history of this day and what it has caused, just natives alone, So, but I will say, more and more time, you realize that these days are really meant to be about you and yours, you and your family getting together with you and yours, and this time, when your family's working or they're at their jobs, things like that, you finally get these times off to come together. So I accepted it for what it is and started going through that process. Right. But that being said, man, a lot of when I look back at like the past times of like Thanksgiving and what it was in my household, it went through different roller coasters of what it is or what it stands for and how important it is to our family. Like my dad is a pastor, and he's he's become a pastor since I was like 7 or 8 years old, and there's a lot of that kind of drawn into it. When we first started getting into things, so when I was younger, now more so, it's just really about getting families together. So, I mean, there's just so many like interesting stories, interesting things that pop up and come up. Like as soon as I hear about these holidays, as soon as I hear about this time, because there's just moments, man, I'm just like if it wasn't for this day, man, maybe some of that drama would never been started. Right. In that sense, you know what I mean?
So speaking of that, so like, what conversations do you avoid when it comes to that, or maybe? What conversations do you feel like you should avoid? Maybe you haven't in the past. Avoid.
What's crazy? I think this is all subconsciously. I don't honestly, this has never been laid on the table for any of us. Sitting at the table with my family. But I don't know, man. I think we kind of stay away from that whole. Well, over time we've more so stayed away from the whole. It's about religion, or it's about this is about we used to have the big long prayers that lasted for 30 minutes, and now it's just truly about everybody has their time. It's about family. Let's come together. Let's get this food. Let's enjoy each other's company. So I don't know if it's like things that we necessarily should stay away from, because I will say I think a lot of stuff that we do stay away from, and I think this comes with a lot of families for the most part. Like when you go back home or you go back to meet with your family, there's certain things you stay away from, period, regardless of the holidays, regardless of it, But I just, I know there was times where like this day has came up, and like my dad, who, like I said, who's a pastor, who was really kind of like struggling as into how he should bring his children raised up in that same situation, He was struggling with that, and he was definitely struggling with it with my oldest brother, who's actually the oldest of the family, and he kind of walked away from religion, really, really early, and it destroyed my dad, like it destroyed him, like I mean, I've watched moments like my dad literally chasing my brother out of the house.
Wow.
On Thanksgiving days, and yelling and screaming. They're yelling down the street and blah blah blah. Just because he's wanting so much for my brother to accept it. So I mean, like I said, I think subconsciously those are the things we stay away from. He's mature, even my father. He's mature and understood. You can't present any sort of, Christ in that way, right? And so I think subconsciously we stay away from a lot of that, like the pressure of religion on stuff on top of Thanksgiving, on top of holidays,
That makes sense.
But yeah. I think that's probably the hardest thing. I think that's probably, like I said, I think that's the biggest thing, like, I can think of when I say, when we come together, it's like we know that we gonna sweep that.
That's gonna go on. I feel like that's my hope for because this is my first Thanksgiving or first like holiday season since deconstructing.
Yep. Okay.
Last holiday season was like near the end of it when I was like, yo, this is where I'm at.
Yeah.
And so there's this part of me going into it where I'm like, I just feel like I feel weird, man. And I'm hoping like that conversation doesn't turn into something, but I don't know. Like I have like this vision of being like the food spread out, and then everybody's like, all right, time to pray. You know what I mean? And then and like me being like, yo. Don't ask me. Don't ask me to do it because,
So, but the whole family knows where you are now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. But honestly, I don't know.
I don't think they would, bro. I don't think they would. I think like one of the cool things that are starting to happen now. Like I think for a while it was this thing of like no one wanted to like touch the subject, but like last week, me and my mom had a great conversation.
Nice.
Like, great conversation talking to her about like where this came from, how I got to the place where I'm at now.
Nice.
Who played what role, stuff like
that. Yeah.
Because I think sometimes when these things happen, parents feel this, wow, this was my fault.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean? They start blaming themselves. Exactly.
And really it's like, nah, like
far from it.
Yeah, you. I think you did the best you could.
Yeah,
I think you did everything you knew to do. And no, it's not your. This isn't you.
Yeah,
this is just a decision I made.
Yeah,
and it's not a bad decision. That's
of course.
Like understanding, like I didn't. This isn't a wrong decision. This isn't a bad decision, and everything like that. And I think getting to that place with her has been really good.
Yeah.
And so we'll see where that goes. But like for now. I think we're starting to get to a really healthy place when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
About that though.
Yeah. About
that. So I mean, and that's like to me. I mean, that's like with the parenting. You brought that up, and I think that's like a. A lot of times parents take blame as to certain things that they've sought for you or solved for you, and and then as soon as you go a different way, they take blame upon that. But just like you said, one, this isn't a negative situation at all,
right?
And two, but I think sometimes it takes some people to have to sit back and look and say, I've also taught you to dig into. Find yourself, those are the amazing traits that sometimes we forget that we have, that even like in your mom says that she's taught you,
let me tell you about my mom's, bro.
Yeah.
So she grew up in Detroit.
Yeah.
And she would she was in shop class when she was in school.
Okay.
Back when she was growing up, women weren't allowed to use power tools. So she created this whole protest and everything like that. Protested the school and everything, got suspended, all that stuff. But was able to petition enough to where women can start using, the girls can start using power tools. And so she's always been a fighter. She's always been a person who's challenged the status quo, who's challenged authority, who's stood up, ask questions, all of those things. Been challenging all of that. like me, I'm her first child, you know, like she's instilled a lot of those qualities in me. So when it comes to me questioning and challenging and digging deep and, you know, all of those things, I got it from her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those are the things I got from her.
Yeah.
And I remember, like, there's certain things now that I, like, think back, like, there's certain things that she, like, deconstructed before I did.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I remember I was maybe 11 or 12. And I said, like, something super homophobic.
Yeah.
I said something super homophobic.
Yeah.
And this was, like, 99, 2000.
Yeah.
And she was like, yo, don't talk like that.
Yeah.
Like, you don't, you know, like... They're people just like you are. Their existence is just as legitimate as yours.
Yeah.
You know, I remember her telling me that, bro, in like 99.
Yeah.
And I just was like, so I think back about things like that because that was not the sentiment of people who were going to the church at that time. You know what I mean? And so I think about those things. I'm like, I don't know. I'm you know, there's a lot of the reasons why I am the way I am is because of you. The things that I like the most about myself, a lot of it is because of her. You know? And so it just manifested in a different way. You know, but all the same, I got a lot of those qualities from. Of
course.
You know.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's real.
What about you? Like,
that's
do you feel? Because you say your dad's a pastor.
Yeah,
how does that stuff show up?
It's funny. I was literally just thinking that when you were talking. I was like thinking like, how does that like, you know, my you know, obviously just like saying my dad's a pastor. You know, from that same world. And I think about sometimes like even when it comes to like homosexuality and things like that. You know, we've never really had those talk. I never really had that talk with my dad about, you know, how he feels on that level of things or where he feels, you know, where he sits with that. But there has been moments or instances that popped up. Yeah. And I do kind of see him sitting on that more. So the Bible told you this. So I don't, nobody should fall that way.
Right.
I have seen instances of that. But he kind of always kind of tucked it in really quietly or kind of said it under his breath type of thing or just kind of like the facial reaction. But I've noticed that more so like over the last, you know, like 10 years. And I honestly think the way he reacts to it in front of me when it does happen or, you know, if it does ever come up is because of who I am, you know, it's like how much he knows how, you know, like liberal minded I am in that sense, you know, and how just like your mother said. I mean, I don't even to even have a discussion as to their existence being any less, even whatever, that should never come up. I mean, you know, it's like one of those like obviously, you know, and so like I think a lot of, but I will say, just like your mom. My dad also has that stand up, dig into, you know, don't ask questions, you know, don't believe everything somebody tells you, find it for yourself. You know, he had a lot of those qualities and he still does, you know, and regardless of him being, you know, pastor for a Christian church, he still has a lot of that, which was instilled in me. Right. And, you know, and so he never battles against, you know, me being very, very liberal-minded and very, very, you know, strong-minded towards that side of things. So I was literally just thinking that, like, exactly how does that work with me or how did that affect me, you know, my dad's teachings and things like that. But I do know it's way more positives when it comes to just, you know, like I said, you know. Absolutely. But yeah, you know.
I think one of the coolest things now that because like having those seeds of ask questions, having those seeds of like get to the bottom of these things, like work these things out within your own heart, your own mind. Yeah. As I begin to figure those things out, as I've started to like deconstruct and everything, like the freedom that I have is no longer having to make everything work.
Yeah, exactly. I feel you.
Make everything work morally, right? Because like there are certain things in the Bible that I could not that just didn't sit right with me.
Yeah.
Right, like when saying like that was one of the first things, homosexuality, like it being a sin or whatever.
Yeah.
Like that was tough for me, right?
Yeah.
Because like a person is born that way.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
exactly.
how could someone being born that way?
Yeah.
How could that possibly be a sin?
Of course.
Right? How could two people who like truly love each other, who express every part of what God says love is, right? How could that be sinful? Of
course.
Right? And it was just hard for me to like work that out in my own mind, but I felt like I had to, because hey, I say I'm a Christian, I am submitted to the Bible. I'm submitted to what these words on this page tell me.
Yep.
Right? And it showed up in a lot of different ways. It was so much to the point where like if a person who was of a different religion or an atheist or whatever, they would ask me like point blank, do you think I'm going to hell? Right? I could not, this is how I knew it was fucked up, because I could not say yes.
Yeah.
Because I knew, hey, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right, doesn't feel right. That doesn't, something about this is off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And so that's what that's one of the biggest pieces of freedom now, is being like, man, I don't have there's these things that I find that are bigoted, that are hateful, unloving, or even just bad for one's mental health.
Yeah.
I no longer have to do the mental gymnastics to make that work in my moral code.
Of course.
That's not good for me or anybody else. I reject that.
Yeah.
And I think for me that's been a really, really freeing.
Oh, it is
thing.
so freeing to like truly live by what you feel in your heart.
Right.
Like every day, every decision you make, every decision that you can think of, every is to truly make that decision of what you believe when you can feel what wrong or right is. Like Absolutely. That is the most amazing way to live. It is. I mean, I totally agree with you that like just to have like this almost this physical itinerary almost as to what steps you or what you go through to believe and how you to believe and what should you believe. But knowing deep down in your heart, that something doesn't feel right about that is, man, it's gotta be rough.
Yeah.
And that's like, to me, it's crazy when I think about that all the time. Like you just said that question, like when somebody's asked you straight to your face, or just for instance, a homosexual asking you straight to your face, am I going to hell? In that sense. And, to like, man, I mean, I question sometimes if people truly believe that they are.
Right.
Like, I honestly question that. I don't know. And I honestly question if there's really people out there who truly believe strongly deep in their heart that you truly being in love with another man or another woman, being a man or a woman, could take you to this place called hell.
Yeah. I
struggle with that.
Man, I just saw a video on TikTok, and bruh, I'm about to get emotional. Yeah. Like there was this lesbian woman, and she like grew up Kojic and everything like that, and she was like, "This is really, really hard for me, because I'm openly gay. I have a girlfriend, and she's like, every time I'm with her, every time like every time that like we make love or whatever, I'm left with this feeling of guilt and this feeling of like, when is this cup going to pass for me? When am I no longer going to struggle with homosexuality? And I'm just like, yo,
it's rough. Yeah.
I'm putting a comment in there like, you're perfect. It's just hard. Like you don't have to change anything. It's
not a struggle.
It's not a struggle. You're just
not a struggle.
Love,
yeah. And like, society's told you it's a struggle. They've told you that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough.
be able to see people who live in that.
Yeah.
And I even think like the Christians who are like the Christians who think they're like cool.
Yeah.
And they think they're like loving and accepting. I'm like, yeah, we have gay people who come to my church, and I have gay friends, and all of that, and I'm accepting, I'm loving, and everything like that. But you got a fucking asterisk on that shit because you love them, right, and you accepting and all that stuff, but you still believe that if they don't get this right before their life is over,
and daily they're still trying to change them,
right,
right,
that if they don't get this right, this is what's going to happen to you. And like, that's for me. Like, that's not true. That's not truly accepting someone.
No,
right? When you can't accept all of them,
exactly.
You're not.
No.
You still have this thing of like, I hope they change, or I'm going to let Jesus be Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
that's not a sin.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
And so like,
yeah.
I have a huge problem with that. I was one of those people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like, I think about that all the time and being like, damn, like that's hateful, bro.
Yeah.
That's like, you think it's loving, that shit's hateful.
Yeah, it is. It is hateful, man.
People always talk about like agendas, Christians especially, like the gay agenda, all this type of stuff. And I'm like, why is it that Christians feel like everyone has an agenda? I think the reason why is because Christians have an agenda. Anybody that you're in relationship with that may not know Jesus, right? Your agenda is to get them saved.
Exactly.
You have a plan. You have a purpose, and that is to convert this person in front of you.
Exactly.
Right. So you think whenever someone is displaying something that's counter you, that may be a deterrent to whatever your mission is of trying to convert someone. You think, oh, they have an agenda. They have an agenda. Nah. Some people are just people are just being them.
100%.
Some people are just representing their selves,
real
their
people
culture.
exist.
Right. And there is no agenda to it.
Of course.
There is no agenda. People are just present.
Of course.
Being who they are. You got the agenda.
Exactly. Exactly. Yes.
All right, so I was on TikTok, bro, and I saw this kid, and he was talking about roast culture, right? And he was talking about how basically how like roast culture has negatively affected black men, especially. So for the people who don't know what roast culture is, for people who grew up in areas that don't have that, basically it's where one person might attack another person's insecurities by making fun of them, whatever, to tell some jokes. Somebody might have acne or something like that, so they'll call them names or something like that. Then that person's supposed to then take that, don't take it personal, and then fire right back out there with something funny. And y'all supposed to go back and forth until basically one person concedes defeat. Of course. Right? If you've seen the memes where they have like Vegeta looking up in the rain. It's like when you get flamed by the entire crew. So for me, growing up, I wasn't like popular growing up. I was fat, I was black. I wasn't as handsome, debonair as I am now. I was one of the smart kids. I was, they say I talk white. A lot of the things that don't necessarily affect me as much, but the stuff you might see in some of my comment sections when let's say you have like a few haters or whatever, you'll see some of the same shit that they'll try now. You know what I mean?
Grown ass man now though.
And so that was roast culture. So me growing up, I was a lot of times I was in the other end of that, and then I had to learn how to survive, bro. I had to learn how to like take that and then fire back at people, but then end up going home and like internalizing that shit. You know what I mean? Be like, I am fat, man. Maybe I am. Like, it hurts my confidence to where it's like, I probably could have went and talked to some girls. I probably could have like got me a girlfriend. I probably could have did all of that, but like, that shit destroyed my confidence so much to where like just, I became introverted. Yeah. I kept my head down. I, just praying to God that somebody doesn't see something in me.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I'm trying to make sure I dress the best.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make sure I'm,
Yeah.
I got, even the music, bro. Mm-hmm. I feel like the pressure to be the best came from roast culture.
Yeah.
It came from like the pressure of being the pressure of being the best to my detriment, not to my good, right? To where like I'm always overthinking. I'm always trying too hard. I'm always doing all this because like I don't want to be.
Yeah.
I go back to that kid.
Of course.
How has roast culture showed up for you?
See, that's so. I will say, me being more so on the popular end, right, through school, and that's mainly because I played sports. I was an athlete and played in sports and all that stuff, and was around those groups. That was a different section from your end, but I will say I was super skinny. Had big buck teeth, so there was ways. There was a way. There was attacks, regardless. In those same ways, I went home many times, like looking myself in the mirror, picking myself apart, trying to be better the next day, trying to make myself stronger, or look different or whatever the next day. And I will say though, even in the popular groups, that roast culture exists even as strong, and it exists because now it's at a hierarchy of where you are within that status. So no matter what status that you're in, I think roast culture exists no matter what.
Right. The dynamics might be a little different.
Yeah. Bullying is bullying, and that's really what this is. This is a nice way of saying bullying. Roast culture, that's what it is. It's two people bullying each other. But it's bullying is bullying. It don't matter where you're from, where you're at. If you walk into a space, you can be bullied. And so I dealt with those same things. I went along with those same exact situations. Even when you say like with music, I grew up listening to like a lot of old classics. My dad put us on records, Stevie Wonder and Anita Baker and all that stuff when I was younger. Since and I became the artist and the musician that I am because of my dad's upbringing with that music. And I would come to school and they would be like, listen to such and such. Have you heard such and such? I'm like, no, man, I just got done listening to Intervisions, Stevie Wonder. You weak, blah blah blah. Like it was always attacks on something. And so like even with that. There was attacks on even when you're playing basketball, you're playing sports. Oh, you can't do this. Oh, you're too skinny. Blah. There's attacks on everything. So I think regardless, man, I think it exists no matter where you are in the status of school. And I do know for sure, that middle school, early high school years, man, is where it gets really, really, really rough.
Yeah, bro.
And that's like, but I noticed that in my high school, it was more so about clothes.
Yep.
Clothes is everything, So we had to wake up every single day. Like, I would spend my night before in the morning of preparing outfits. That was all about outfits, and again, that's why I dress so fly and stuff now because after
roast culture, bro.
Maybe who I am.
Okay. So speaking of that, right? So the kid who made that post, was getting like. He was getting a lot of like hate stitches and stuff like that, where they were saying like, "Yo, no, roast culture builds character." And like it makes you stronger, it makes you tough. This world ain't fit, stuff like that. Do you feel like there's legitimacy to that?
Not one bit.
Okay, why not?
First and foremost, let's remember, like, we're talking about more so black culture,
right?
So that's really where roast culture exists strongly in is black culture, and a lot of black culture, a lot of these high schools and these public schools, the kids who come from situations where they don't really have much to not be roasted or whatever that come from, right? Imagine having to wake up daily, every single day. So ridding yourself of your schoolwork, of your education, ridding yourself of what you're really supposed to be in school for, ridding yourself of, I mean, all the positive things that you could be going through on a daily basis because you're worried about being roasted.
Sure. Yeah.
There's no positive in that at all.
No positive.
It does not exist. I mean, it's bullying. At the end of the day, I mean, that's what it is. And what's crazy is in that level of roasting, when you say that, or if you express that you're bullying me, and I feel bad about how you bully me, you even roasted even more.
Even worse, right.
So now you have to take home that even stronger. So now you're probably knocked out of a status group, or you're looked down upon through everything because of the fact that you're just mentioning to yourself, bro, this hurts me, man. I really don't.
Absolutely, yeah. You can't. Don't say that shit, bro.
Exactly.
Don't say that shit.
And that's, to me, there can't be any positive in going through your daily trying to find something to ruin another person's day. Especially the fact, here's what's crazy about it, because it's especially the fact when you know you're only doing it because you're hurting something yourself.
Exactly. Your insecurity. It's like you're basically you're trying to build this wall and trying to deflect things off of you. Yeah. Where the person who's insulting you is just as insecure, if not more.
Yeah. And that's borderline sick, dog. That's that's I mean, the serial killerness.
Yeah, bro. It's just, bro. It's this thing of bro. It was like, I should be coming to school to get an education. I should be coming to school to figure out what I want to do in life. I should be coming to school to... There's so many other pressures that come with school. Yep. To then add on... Exactly. This thing of being like... Exactly. I'm about to get made fun of for something I can't control. Exactly. You know? Let me
express a little story, if I can. I'm sorry. But, so when I was, like I said, working in education for a long time, and one of the biggest my connections through education was to work with young black kids. You know, obviously that was one of my biggest passions. But obviously a lot of the schools, being in Nebraska, that was their reason for me to was to really try to connect to some of these inner city kids. And one of the kids that I worked with not too long ago, he struggled every single day, like wouldn't walk into a room because of his hair. Okay. He knew if he had his hair looking the way it was, he's from really low situations, mom barely has a job type of thing. It's him and his mom, they eat maybe 2-3 strong meals a week. Yeah. And so basically, he goes his whole entire day to day trying to figure out how he's going to brush his hair. How he's gonna comb his hair, and so I had to work. I had to stay. My day to day was to try to build him up, was to try to make him feel positive in so many ways. So I went down to the local drugstore, get him a comb, before he can comb his hair every single day at school, before he can go to the bathroom and comb his hair. Yeah. Every single day he's wearing clothes, and now he's all of a sudden trying to dress like me. He said, Mr. Zach, if I wear my jeans like this, would it be cool? All this stuff, right? Yeah. But this is the sad part about it. What does he do? He starts trying to roast me every other day now. Now he tries to find things about me, things about whatever, because of that insecurity, that so strong of insecurity he has for himself. He has to try to attack somebody else that's even been there to help him. Because of that coach, because of whatever, he instantly is trying to attack me in different ways. And that's the sickening part of that culture, for sure. There's no positive in that, man.
Bro,
not one bit.
I agree. My response to people who say that is that builds character. Yeah, it's like, nah, bro. Like, dude, the shit we've been through, builds character. Exactly. Right? The shit we've overcome builds character. The shit, there's no good that comes out of me seeing, me being insecure, seeing something that probably would make you insecure, and then jumping on that to try to break you,
or to try to take the insecurities off.
Right, because the goal isn't the end game of roast culture isn't, oh, you got me, I got you, how we're friends, we're gonna we'll skip off to the next class. Exactly. That's not what happens. No. We're going back and forth to one of us breaks.
Exactly. Yes.
We're going back. If I can get you to be like, I'm not gonna fuck with you no more. That's the goal. I want to break you.
Yep.
And like, there's no good that comes with that.
No.
You know.
No. No.
Yeah, bro. So I'm really glad that kid brought that up, man. I think it made like for.
Oh, dude, that's huge.
Yeah, like I just, for me, like, bro, it's showing up. It showed up. It shows up now.
Yeah.
I found.
Yeah.
Like.
Do you think it'll ever change?
With therapy. With therapy, I feel I'm getting better with therapy, but like, you know, I like a lot of my lack of confidence, even growing up, came from roast culture. I used to get, bro. I was bullied, bro. I was bullied bad. You know, so like, that stuff. A lot of that stuff sits with you until you process it and unpack it, and you know, figure out where it came from and who it came from. Right. And why it came to you. You know, like. So until that happens, you view it in this lens of being like, yeah, fuck, I do got. You know, I am. Oh, my chin. I do hate my chin. You know, why do I hate my chin? People used to make fun of my chin. That's why I hate my chin. You know, or you know, man, I hate my weight. I hate my. This is a crazy thing, bro. Like, and like I'm gonna be honest, but this is a completely like transparent moment. I didn't feel fully confident in me, my appearance as a man or whatever, until like the beginning of this year. And a lot of that came from like I had a video that went viral. Not this last one. I had a video that went viral that was just like somebody said something like crazy to me in the comments. And so instead of me being like roasting back or whatever, like I just articulately responded like, yo, like I enjoy myself, I enjoy who I am, I'm working on, you know, all that, just that, and it went, you know, it popped off or whatever, and like I got like a bunch of like really good like compliments and stuff. And I remember bringing that to my therapist and being like, yo, this is what happened. And they were like, why did it take so much external validation for you to feel that way about yourself? And I'm like, well, because it took external diminishing of me to make me feel this bad about myself. Exactly. You know? And so she was like, we got to get you to a point where where these external things don't have any wavering on who you know you are. And what you know about yourself. You know? But that concept for a 13-year-old is almost impossible to grasp.
That don't exist for a 13-year-old.
You know what I mean? Like for like that's like that concept. Like, I could tell a 13-year-old that over and over and over and over again. But like, you know, that's our brains don't even develop till we're fully 25. Till we're 25. Exactly. You know what I mean? So like, imagine. You know, once you begin to understand things about mental health and how our brains work and operate and everything like that, you take all that into account. Then, what do you think that level of bullying, right, has on the psyche of a 13-year-old? You know, especially a 13-year-old black kid. When everything else in the world tells you that you're not worth it. Everything else in the world tells you that, you know.
Every time you turn on TV, every time.
Every time you turn on TV, you see somebody like you being arrested, being shot, being depicted as, you know, a low life, as nothing, you know. To just be disregarded and discounted. You have all those other pressures. And on top of that, we have this. Nah, those pressures are enough to build you. Right? If you feel like that's what it takes, no, those pressures are enough. We never needed this other stuff. You know?
No, that's real. And that's like, you know, that's like even when you was talking about that 13-year-old, you know, like even dealing with some of the youth and stuff that I was working with, just trying to tell them, especially black kids, trying to tell them, your hair is amazing. Love your hair. This is, trust me, your hair is what makes you not only you, but makes them love you. They love us. They love our culture. They love your hair.
Absolutely.
That don't mean nothing to me. It goes one ear out the other at that age a lot of times. I mean, you try as hard as you can to preach it to them and to get it to them, and they try hard to accept it because they trust you. They trusted me.
Absolutely.
In that sense. But in the end, man, it's just like you said. Like we turn on the TV. We go through social media. We go through whatever, and everything says differently.
I think that's why we got to be as loud as we like. If we know where to change, if we know where the difference, we got to be as loud as we possibly can because everything else is screaming at them as well. Yeah. And so, yeah, I hear that. Exactly. That's what I try to do. I try to be as loud as I can when it comes to like praising. Yeah. Because
no, that's real.
These people need to know. These kids need to know that like, you're loved and you're fine the way you are.
Beautiful.
And nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with the way you're created, with the way that you were made. And having that being told to you consistently, what kind of difference would that have? When I think about that now, what kind of difference could that have had on my life now? Yeah. Where could have that shown up? In ways that could potentially change everything. Yeah, man.
No, you mentioned that story. Just about like over the last year. You really, finding yourself within that.
Yeah.
And that's like it's crazy because I was thinking about the time. Like I was like, when did I feel like I and even so, I don't think I still fully have. Yeah. And honestly, especially from what we do, we're on the cameras, we're on song, we put ourselves out there, on a normal basis. Yeah. So, we're like able to get picked at, because of that position that we put ourselves in. And so, naturally, I think, on a daily, we pick at myself at certain things too, for sure. Yeah. But I know, I remember at the time when, what happened to me. My story is all honesty. My story is I was dating this girl at the time. I was dating her for a while. I think we were dating for like 6-7 years, and this before the 7th year. This was like year number 4 or something like that. I found out she was cheating on me. And like my pride, obviously, I'll be honest with you. I think this black male's pride period was like, you cheating on me? What? Like this doesn't happen. And to be honest, it's crazy. Me saying this right now is tough. I don't talk about that because I'm me. Like it's like we built ourselves so whatever with that shell in that sense, And I found that and she was cheating on me, and the dude she was cheating on was this Billy kind of buff dude in a sense. Okay, so I just went to work on me. I changed who I was. I told myself, okay, if that's the thing, no one will ever whatever because of that. And so like as I said, I was a super, super skinny guy and everything like that. And then like my year 22, 23, 24, I just was like, no, that will not be the thing.
Right.
And my confidence went out the roof.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I literally to the point where I was doing everything she was doing to other people now. Wow. My confidence went to the point where I was just I thought I could do anything. I was invincible.
Is that confidence? I could treat anybody anywhere. Let me ask you that though. Is that confidence or is that insecurity?
Both.
Okay.
No. Here's just it's not confidence. It's way more insecurity than anything. Yes, by far. Oh my goodness. These are songs and stuff that I'm writing and stuff now about that situation, about that time of my life where it's like, dude, I realized how insecure I really am. Like that's all that was insecurity.
444 era.
Exactly. Yes. And just like, man, that's exactly what it is. It's insecurity. I was so insecure. Especially of who I was, right? That I want to smash it on everybody else's face. I want to, and so I was out here just treating humans, human, beautiful people, just wrong, right? And not even feeling anything about it because I just felt like I am who I am, And like I said, that stems so far down into roast culture even itself because that was the number one thing I was always picked about. So skinny. Zach, you so blah blah. This. And that's, like to build up to that point where I built myself, to that point, I felt invincible.
That's why, like, when I met Zach, he would play keys in muscle shirts. Yeah. So this is just for the audience to know. Exactly. It's because he got cheated on.
That. Damn. I want all y'all to know.
Yeah, everybody know. Got his nipple out. Just playing keys.
Exactly. Yes.
No.
Yeah, man. No, dude, it's crazy, man. Because it's like when I think about that, like I said, when I think back of that, not only that time when I felt so invincible. I can't lie and say I wasn't having some of the most fun of my life. Of course I was. I was experiencing things that I felt jealous of my friends and stuff when I was in high school.
Yeah.
The way my friends would get girls and stuff all the time and just be out here being free and being whatever.
Yeah.
I was so shy to go a lot of the parties and thought of whatever because I didn't want to be attacked and I didn't want to be whatever a lot of times. Yeah. So I would swallow myself down in my own cave and stay in my house and chill. Whatever like that. And so I can't deny that, I had some of the most fun of my life in that sense, but I know it tore me apart. That time of my life truly tore me apart, and I miss that on so many things.
I feel that shows up now when you look back on it. And you be like,
yes.
While there might have been fun, were you happy? Truly.
No.
Yeah.
No. And what's crazy, I'm not even saying that just because of the end. I truly, like I said, like over the last year, I've truly been understanding, like, who I am, where I was, what I really stand for, and I can look back at that time and say, dude, that was a joke. Like when I can look back at like some of the pictures and social media, some of the the relationships and the dates and stuff and the women and stuff I was around, man, I can just like. What was I thinking? Like, who am I to treat somebody like that?
Yeah.
And no, dude. I mean,
I remember for me, things that shifted for me was like, because I remember like being in high school, it was always this conversation about women. It was around women where it was like, you ain't got no girls, you don't get no girls, you don't get no girls, or whatever.
Yeah, that was you don't got no girl. That was always the
thing. Yeah. And then even now today, people be like, you talking like this ain't gonna get you no pussy and stuff like that, right? And I remember like when I was like in high school, it bothered me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not getting no girls. I'm not getting no girls. And so then when I got older, the beard came in and all that stuff, and I started like, I'm getting these girls.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, there was a shift that happened.
Yeah.
To where I realized that concept in itself was fucked up.
Yeah.
Because women aren't like money.
Yeah.
It's not like they're not something to obtain.
Exactly.
Right? Like they're human.
Yes.
And so like which helped me get into this conversation of like, no, I like women.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like what I found was like this conversation of being bullied because you're not getting girls, whatever, just shows more and more of being like this other conversation of like, man, what, how has even roast culture in some ways contributed to, not even contributed to, but how much of that I'm like thinking this is all out loud right now. Right? I'm just now unpacking and processing. How much of that is actually attributed to patriarchy?
Yeah.
How much of that like when we talk about all the things that that comes from roasting, because you're getting roasted for not getting girls. Well, that just helps reinforce misogyny.
Exactly.
Right?
Yep.
We have this whole conversation around no one cares when men, especially black men, have like mental issues. No one cares about our mental health.
Yep.
Right? How much has roast culture contributed to that side, the negative side of patriarchy, at least to us, right? like we see so many things that stem from this that it's like, yo, it just shows me that like patriarchy was never meant for people like us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It was never meant to benefit people like us. Which is why you see we pay the most.
Yes.
Whenever we try to take on those aspects of the patriarchy, right? When we are angry and we want to fight all the time, black men pay the most for that.
Yep.
When we have mental issues and everything like that, black men should pay the most for that. Right? When it comes to how we interact with our black women or women in general, like black men pay the most for that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So we see not pay the black women pay the most for that. I'm sorry. So like we see all these ways on how this shit was never meant for us.
Exactly.
And we pay the most. So like I'm always saying, especially the black man, abandon that shit. Abandon that shit. It was never meant for us. Get help. Seek help. There's enough things in this world trying to tear you down. For you simply being you. For simply looking the way you look. To where we don't need each other to build character.
Exactly.
No. We don't need to tear each other down to build character. There's enough shit trying to tear us down.
Exactly. Yes.
You know?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
No, that's real.
Yeah, bro.
That's super real.
On that note, we're going to let's go ahead and wrap the episode.
Yeah.
Let's tell the people about where they can follow you. Tell them about some projects you're working on right now.
Yeah.
And all that stuff.
Yeah, like I said, IC Melody is a brand of mine that I recently built to basically umbrella all of my projects and all of the things that I've been doing within the arts, fashion, music, even like music curating. So check that out, IC Melody, straight up IC Melody. You can make it all one word. But I am the lead and the producer, founder of the rock soul project, alternative R&B project, The Fae. Recently about to come out a new album, about to come out a new project here probably in the next year. I want to say February, March. That's the hopes. About to tour with this guy right here in March. So that's kind of the biggest thing right there. Yeah. But Palm Tree Shade, man, is out right now from The Fae. That's the newest LP by The Fae. Check that out. You can find it on all platforms, all music platforms. We also saw they got the LP, we got the vinyl out and everything like that on thefae.band. But yeah, that's pretty much me, man.
Yeah, my name is J Crum. You guys can follow me everywhere at J Crum Music. I'm on TikTok, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, Snapchat, all them places. You go to jcrummusic.com. You can check out all my music, my merch, everything like that. You can go to streetlightsounds.com. If you are an independent artist or content creator and you just need help coming up with some funnels to help you make some money, I am all about that. So, get at me. We can schedule a 30-minute discovery call and then we can see if we're a good fit. Other than that, man, you guys, please keep checking us out. We are the Valiant Club. We're gonna try to crank these episodes out every week. Yeah. If we can't, we will let you know. Sometimes life happens. Yeah. You see, we're actually in my house today. I actually like the look of this though.
Oh, dude, this like I said, this is some of those videos, man. This is like nostalgia right here.
Right? It's iconic. This is
nostalgic.
Yeah, bro. Yeah. So I've done things that have changed my life in this room. Yes. So like it's been really, really cool. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to the podcast. We got a lot more cool things planned for y'all. Yeah. My new album Valiant is out right now.
What's the new one called?
Got
a name yet? What's it? You got to work on a new one.
No, man. He ain't supposed to know about it, man. He ain't supposed to know about it yet.
I tried to give him a leeway.
Yeah, bro, this boy's been out for a month. It's been out 1 month. Let it rock. Let it rock. Yeah. But yeah, much love to y'all. Yeah. You guys enjoy your holiday. And we are out.
Peace.